Yeah, and that's why this is a completely understandable decision by them. I think the Tildo with the Silver getting early priority not that hard. Jarvan also designed to dive away bot lanes, and Eddie and Juro need to be very careful, especially pre-6 when the Devour is not an option for them yet.
Well, we head on to game 2 of this series. And Quincy, I've got a fun fact for you. Did you know that across the two teams, the 10 players, one of these players has not given away a first blood this split? Can you guess who that is?
It's kind of illegal because we addressed it yesterday in the
No, don't tell. See, I was trying to do it, and you.
I don't want to cheat on the viewers.
But you could have given a wrong answer, like you gave a wrong answer yesterday.
Okay, then I just recreate the whole conversation. I tried to guess Party, but it is actually Artifact. And my second guess was Levi, because I was like, Levi's kind of silent the split. He also gave away some first blood, but Artifact actually never did. And if I remember correctly, last game he didn't as well, right?
Yes. The first blood went to Zhuhao. Or it was picked up by Levi on Zhuhao.
Yeah, we'll see whether the Zhuhao got 2v2 kill. Yeah, that was what it was. As we say that, Artifact maybe now the victim of first blood, but not quite. Not even having to flash, but he had to burn the ghost, so one small win for GAM already.
And this isn't an unsealed spellbook on Artifact either. It's not like he runs through those spells. It's just plain and simply a summoner spell down. And Levi using that opportunity to pass straight into Penguin's jungle and take away his red buff in the process.
Taking away the red buff, so Penguin can't really go for that. Does he have the information that the red buff is being gone is what I'm really asking myself. It looks like it is the case, as he's going towards something like a vertical jungling path and trying to at least get something on the map, as he's going for the chickens, which he can of course steal from the side of Levi, as Levi is also stealing his chicken though, so Penguin not really getting the better of that in this current situation. What now? I just see that the bot lane 2v2 looks kind of failed for the side of Team Secret, but this is of course something that will be easier later on as Style gets to pick up some levels. He's also going for the Cull as well as Kati is, so they know they are in for a longer one this time, not really going for the early game stompings, as they are very happy to just scale next to the side of Team Secret with those Cull cash-ins later on, giving them a little bit of free gold.
I have another fun fact for you, Quincy, and this time this is one that I haven't actually told you before. So for both teams, there is a player who has played their particular champion 5 times this split and are undefeated on that champion. Do you want to hazard a guess as to who those players are?
I think Artifact Talia could be one of those, because Artifact tends to pick Talia and just win it, as Team Secret in general wins very many games, and I think he hasn't played it against GAM, so I think Artifact Talia would be one of those.
Incorrect. Artifact has 7 games on Talia and has lost 2 of them.
Yes, at least 4 or 5 wins, so I
yeah,
get a little bit correct on that one.
You can get like a quarter of a point for it.
Fair enough.
But it is actually Eddie
Style
on
Silver?
the Aphelios and Kati on the Corki.
Okay.
Style has 9 games on the Sivir, and I think he's won 7 of those.
I mean, that's very hard to guess, right? The exact number of games and also like winning all of those. Either way, we might in for another skirmish.
Levi looking towards his mid lane, but Kati is very low and wouldn't be able to follow up on the play, so Levi just decides against aggressing in the mid lane and heads towards the Scuttle Crab, and Penguin's going to be way too late to contest.
Party now being chunked very, very low. Penguin maybe fancying to at least throw a Dustbringer to deny the recall a little bit more. Nocturne, of course, pre-6 can't really gank much, but if there's like an opportunity on a silver platter, he would still go for it. Penguin right now, however, not too happy in just going for something like this, as he just wants to power farm a little bit. Jarvan, of course, expected to be more active in the early game, and we also saw one activity from him where he got the ghost from Artifact and also a good counter jungling opportunity. But from that, Penguin to some extent recovered. He has a better clear speed than Levi has on the Jarvan, but Levi is already on his next move. Could gank against Hero, and Hero is very low on mana, just now uses Body Slam offensively, so Hero, the next minion wave, might just be an easy target, but Penguin covering that wave.
And the second Levi steps out of the brush, Penguin is right there. Flag and drag in onto Hero. He has a flash available and enough mana for a body slam. The focus onto Kiaya. Hero low, but so is the Renekton. And first blood is picked up by Levi. It's a 1-for-1, and the junglers will not aggress on each other.
I love how Levi just sees Penguin there and it's like, I don't care, I just still go for this gank. We are just faster getting the first blood. And he was ultimately correct about that. Getting this small inching of gold with getting the first blood bonus in killing Hero before Penguin kills Kiaya. And I think about that 1-for-1, he's kind of okay with, especially with the first blood going in their favor. You want to have some action early on this Jarvan, and here we see how they are playing it out. I think they could have just waited or just go for Penguin instead, but they go for this decision as, yeah, Kiaya not even blowing his flash. He blows it pretty late and still gets feeded by the Unspeakable Horror. Unspeakable Horror has a larger range than flash distance is covering, so this is very important for Penguin to not flash on his own as he's not needing of that, and yeah. Just a few autos, one way or the other, could make it differently, but Levi was very, very confident and got rewarded with the first blood. So Jarvan, spiking in the early mid game, can make some use of that. Gotta say though, Penguin getting a kill also decent as he wants to hit this level 6 power spike and be a threat, especially to Style and Kati.
And that's something to remember. The level 6 for both junglers, but particularly so for Penguin. Super impactful having that paranoia available. Now, we do have another statistic that we would like to bring up for everyone, and that's the last time Team Secret beat GAM. No, it wasn't earlier this split. No, it wasn't in Spring Split. It wasn't in Winter Split last year. You have to go back over a year to Spring Split 2021. That was the last time Team Secret won a series over GAM, and actually, that was a 2-0 as well.
It was a 2-0 at least, while it was a win, right? 2-0s are in general pretty rare in the VCS, but that's a long time, man. I mean, the Team Secret roster was likely completely different by then. I mean, they changed most of the roster with the SPTC one in the winter split, and back then, I think Artifact was already Secret? No, he wasn't.
Artifact was on Secret in Spring, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Because he went from Secret in Spring to SBTC in Winter. SBTC unfairly benched him because they were dumb. And then he went
back, yeah.
Yes.
Rightfully so. I mean, look where he is now and look where SPTC is now. I mean, it doesn't look that different on standings right now, but SPTC's reasons for form, I mean, we can harp about it, hasn't been that great. As Penguin just now gets invaded, good spell shield by him at least, but Levi gets to claim the red buff. Or does he?
Poor Penguin. Oh, I thought that Dustbringer might have been enough, but in the end, Levi smites it away. Both junglers now level 6. Another question becomes, where do you want to see Penguin utilizing that paranoia? Where do you think he has the most setup to be able to make a successful gank?
I think he can pair it up with Artifact quite well, like one good Unraveled Earth Seismic Shove combination onto the Corki and just react before he goes for the Valkyrie defensively. And even if just Unspeakable Horror can of course just travel far enough to get the guaranteed land on it. As a bot lane right now, I mean, you can of course do something with Time Kenshin's Abyssal Dive, but it's very telegraphed, and the spell shield from Style should make it hard to play into it, as well as the Baited from Minata of course, with a hostile takeover coming out later as she hits level 6. So Penguin definitely has a good bet to do it in the mid lane, or maybe even the top lane when Kiaya steps up too far forward. But Kiaya also very, very strong in those 1v2 situations, as he got 1 or 2 double kills on this way beforehand as well. First rank now claimed by the side of Team Secret, and this will just maybe make it easier for especially something like a Nocturne to keep this chases going, as he's going for the mid lane, as I said.
You called it in the mid lane. Kati forced to burn the Flash, forced to burn the Valkyrie, and Penguin had just shortly prior been able to pick up the first Drake of the game. We talked about that at the end of Picks and Bans, talking about the compositions wanting to fight around early objectives, but so far GAM just sitting back, just wanting to scale a bit more before they've tried to fully team fight against Secret.
And this looked a little bit clownish by the side of Penguin, but it ultimately was very, very worth as he blew both the Flash and the Valkyrie, something that Kati definitely hates to taken away from him. Valkyrie not even because of the very high cooldown, which of course is very high, don't get me wrong, but also the very huge mana cost on it, so he will have to be recalling very, very soon, and this is a small edge that Artifact can take. As Artifact, however, has kind of been struggling in this laning phase. Corki not really a strong laner, but Artifact is a few CS down after all the things he did so far, but he also wasn't really roaming anywhere, so Artifact this game not looking like the best mid laner of the VCS.
Game 1, Kati had the measure of Artifact. Game 2 is looking like it might be that way again. Waiting to see Artifact being unleashed on the map, courtesy of that Weaver's Wall. But now GAM making their way towards the mid lane. Levi was able to sneak away the Rift Herald off screen, and there's going to be quite a few plates going into Levi's and Styles' hands.
Herald now being used in the mid lane by the side of GAM, getting their cash in on that one, and no real fight ensuing, as GAM is kind of surprisingly far ahead in the gold department, as they are really much farming it well in the mid lane.
Oh, look at Eddie.
getting
Might
all
get
those
caught out.
platings. They're almost 2k gold ahead for basically nothing, right? It's 1 kill
Yeah.
on each side. The first blood bonus, of course, being on them. Team Seafood just slowly bleeding out against GAM, and this is also like one way to really have a decisive victory. You just slowly choke the enemy out and they just get no way into the game.
And all this has been is, as you mentioned, the first blood advantage over a standard kill, and then tower plates in this mid lane from the Rift Herald. And I would imagine that Kiaya hasn't taken any tower plates in the top lane, so it's literally just, I guess, the CS discrepancy in the mid lane.
CS in the mid lane and the first blood bonus, and I think the plating different in the mid lane from the Herald just now. That's all adding up to it,
It's
basically.
what, 300 gold from 3 tower plates?
320 from 2, and 480 from 3, yeah, 480. And the first blood bonus is like a few hundred. And the rest would just be the CS numbers. I think it still kind of doesn't really add up, but I don't know.
Yeah, where is all this gold? Because we're talking about 10 CS, which is about 200 gold. So my mental math is saying we're talking about a maximum 1k gold lead, but there's an extra 700 gold from somewhere, and I'm not really sure where it's come from.
Maybe Team Secret is just very nervous and missing so many cannons, and it just isn't really reflected in the gold, as we don't really see the numbers over the
that's probably what it is. Team Secret haven't been able to land any cannons the entire game.
GAM is just that good. Anyway, regardless of all those jokes, Penguin are very deep into the GAM jungle, and they might make a play on Kati, remember, has no flash. He is very catchable.
Eddie is not far away. The paranoia is used, and the Tahm Kench is just going to swallow Penguin. Maybe too early. Flashes away from the Cataclysm as Eddie shows up to the play as well. But that's 2 flashes being burnt by the side of Team Secret, and GAM don't use any of their summoner spells.
That's a very huge win for the side of GAM, actually. Team Secret blowing flashes and ultimates for that. Also, Devour using defensively. They wanted to just get a quick kill and then back out, but with 4 members from GAM being ready for the play, that wasn't happening at all. And GAM just being there, being ready. Lever using the Cataclysm to really gobble them in, as Tahm Kench has to gobble away Penguin. And like this, it's just ultimates blown, flashes blown, and Team Secret lose a lot of their bite in this early mid game, where they definitely want to do more.
Now, an opportunity for more to happen is going to be in this bottom side of the map. Our second Drake of the game will be spawning, and you highlighted in the first game of the day as well, Quincy, just how more impactful Drakes are now that we are on patch 14 of Season 12, and Team Secret already getting some priority in the mid lane and trying to set up some vision in the bottom side river. As
they do that for the next Drake, which will spawn in a few seconds. Remember, like, this is one thing that went right for Team Secret in this game, is that they got this first Drake relatively uncontested, with having very smart back timings, as also right now Artifact equalizing in the CS department against Kati momentarily at least. But with GAM scaling up quite nicely, Team Secret wants to push the button a little bit harder, and this is what I expect from them. Penguin just now recalling as the Drake is spawning might be a bit too late to really contest anything, and GAM is ready for the Drake while Team Secret just isn't.
Artifact resetting, Eddie recalling as well. Eddie doesn't have any boots, so I'm presuming we'll be picking up either the plated steel caps here or some Berserker Greaves. Instead, actually cancels his recall to try to defend the bottom lane outer tower against Kati, and then all the while GAM pick up that second Drake of the game.
And GAM is pretty happy how the game is going so far. They have all this scaling with this double cull in both their carry positions. Of course, the Renekton not really the late game monster, but he will be fine in the side lane against the Gragas of all things. The Gragas is going for the team fight oriented build with going, I think, Frostfire Gauntlet Fimbulwinter to be like very, very beefy and very, very sustain heavy, as he can match some of that Renekton sustain by delaying his own sustain due to the Bramble Vest being in his inventory. And I think despite Jarvan also falling off, the Nocturne isn't really the best scaler as well. So I think GAM very happy with Corki and Sivir on their team to have these guaranteed front to back team fights that will be enabled by B being there for potential bailout. And Team Secret, they just burn so many ultimates unnecessarily, so they can't really fight this objective right now. And of course GAM knows that Paranoia is back up, so is the Reverse Wall. So this might just be one way where Team Secret can make one move. But GAM not really respecting them so far, and they kind of don't have to. They just get the second Herald, not as important as the first one is, of course, but if you manage to push one tier 1 turret very, very low, you can just use that charge to guarantee first blood turret gold, which is of course another swing in their favor. And GAM just right now scaling next to Team Secret and scaling better than them, definitely looking like a good game for them, and Team Secret currently just finds no answer.
This reptile charge will be enough to break the mid lane out to tower, but that is a
Cataclysm.
3-man Cataclysm. Zhuhao forced to be Eddie, but Zhuhao will just die. An artifact is the next on the menu. Eddie gets a big Moonlight Vigil, but it is nowhere near enough. GAM pick up 3 kills. They pick up the mid lane outer tower, and they're going to pick up the mid lane inner as well.
And they aren't even stopping.
Penguin getting caught out by the flag and drag, able to get on top of B, so pulls 1 kill back, and Levi almost falling to the tower damage, but it is still GAM who come out handedly on top.
And Kiaya also in the top lane almost going for the solo kill, which would have been almost an ace for the side of GAM. And it's just so suffocating what they're doing to Team Secret right now. This looks more decided than their win against Team Esports, and I hate to say that, as I still think very highly of what Team Secret can do overall. Right now, GAM just looking so firmly. He had 6,000 gold by now. They absolutely crashed the mid lane, which is like the backbone of a team, considering the map control they really have, and they want to do towards these Drakes and Herald and Baron fight that will happen later on. So GAM just now finding a beautiful Cataclysm engaged by the side of Levi, just flagging back to 2 members. The Devourer can only buy a little bit of time, as all the members from GAM can just fight front to back, easy peasy with Silver and the Corki, and Team Secret not just not finding an answer, but also on this worst scaling comp, just getting out team fought at the 50-minute mark. It's so devastating to see, and GAM just making a stand against them, looking like the best team in VCS right now, for sure.
This isn't just a game. This isn't just a game for GAM to take first place in the regular season. This is a statement game from GAM. This is them saying, we are better than Team Secret, not just as a team, not just in terms of macro, but we are better than Team Secret individually in every single role. And again, I'm going to Carti because I flamed him towards the start of the split, saying about how he wasn't one of the best mid laners. But my god, this man has stepped up so incredibly well over the last few weeks, and now he is just absolutely brutally slapping up Artifact in the mid lane. It is disgusting to watch.
Exactly, like he was winning lane on the Corki in general. Yeah. That's kind of a thing, and then he's just like playing some melee, and he's playing against the Talia, where the Talia can definitely make something in the early game. And we criticized Carti in the spring split, especially as Artifact and Froggy have been better mid laners than him there, as Carti was kind of the one going for flashy plays and just being not in the right place at the right time, just doing too much for his team basically, as Kiaya might just get caught.
Kiaya can buy a lot of time on this Renekton, but in the end, it's a kill going to Team Secret, and just like in Game 1, it is the support of Zhuhao who ends up picking up the gold.
Oh, Hero? Can you survive this?
Explosive Cask will buy some time, as Carti is just lurking around on the Gorky, but is not needed, as GAM find a kill on the opposing side of the map.
And it's just one of those games where Kiaya was getting like somewhat of the Dyrus treatment, where he's just kind of face-thinking everything from the enemy team. Yes, 3 people dive onto him. Yes, he dies, he's 0-2, but we also have seen like one game where he was like 0-4 or 0-5 on Gnar, and still having this incredible impact once he could just go for these fights anyway, and just getting the return solo kill. He would now, of course, Team Secret, the light at the end of the tunnel for them is that they get objective bounties, but they also used a TP as well to the bot lane to save it, and that was just Hero delaying some time for GAM to take this turret on their side, so even that play not that advantageous for Team Secret, if at all. And Kiaya is probably very happy about the situation still, as he is still very self-sufficient on the Renekton pick, and being 0-2 of course doesn't look too good on him, but he's still very much in the game, and GAM very happy about how this game is working overall. But let me just go back to this Carti point, where we were like criticizing him rightly for his spring split, where he wasn't the best mid laner, being a bit over-aggressive, going for flashy stuff. We rightfully criticized him back then, and he definitely stepped up, right? He's just one of the better, if not the best mid laner in this moment, as he's clapping Artifact on the Corki, and he's also willing to play stuff like the Galio, like the Ryze, like the Morgana mid lane in the first game against Team Secret, and this just makes him such a strong asset that we really were kind of missing in the last split. And Carti, this split, he kind of just shuts down all the criticism.
Absolutely so, and we know that Carti has a lot of ability, has a very high skill ceiling, and it is good to see him reaching that skill ceiling, or perhaps he's got even further that he can reach. I think another player who has been a little bit hidden behind the curtains has been Levi. I don't think he's had a very impressive split so far, and considering, you know, this is Levi, this is the player that every single League fan who, you know, might not be a watcher of the VCS, but will know, yeah, I know who Levi is, because he is, you know, the god jungler of the VCS, one of the best junglers around the world, but he's not had that impactful of a split. And I think this particular series, he is playing phenomenally well. You know, he's out farming a Nocturne, for God's sake, on a Jarvan.
Yeah, it's definitely a statement from him so far. Both out ganking and out farming the Nocturne. And you say it, but he's more of a silent player as a split, but it doesn't matter.
Cataclysm on to Eddie, forced to flash away. Solo is Levi, and that's a kill going through. Moonlight Vigil does some work as a hostile takeover. Doesn't really land on too many members of Team Secret, but Zhuhao already down, so is Eddie. Artifact the only member left, and is going to be forced to sit under his inner tower as the rest of GAM turn towards the Baron Nashor.
That's a very easy fight for the side of Levi. Just gets a brilliant Cataclysm engage yet again. We were addressing him right before this fight, just as one of the most silent players, and he has been kind of boring this split as he just plays basically meta junglers with Wukong, and the Nocturne is the second most played, the Jarvan being played right now, but he kind of just does his job, enables his laners, and his laners are stellar this split. So Levi, while being silent and boring, still maybe the best jungler in the VCS, even in this split, as kind of Penguin and yeah, the other junglers looking very dull next to him. Here we see the fight playing out. TP just to deny anything from the turret, as the Wind and Wave just stays with them. Hero gets instantly popped, and all this hostile takeover engage just makes it so hard for Zhuhao to really do anything but devour the Aphelios, and GAM just death balls over them. It gets 4 kills and the Baron on top.
You know, at the start of this split, Quincy, we were talking about how, MVP for each role is going to be interesting because maybe we're going to have Celebrity in the ADC role, Artifact in the mid lane, we're not going to have any GAM players, but right now, and maybe it's the recency bias talking, but let's be honest, it's looking like it is GAM in every single role, apart from maybe in the mid lane, maybe Froggy has a shout over Carti.
I think that's kind of recency bias. I think Artifact overall still is the best mid lane split, but he kind of looks like a clown this game, right? Just getting clapped by Corki. Not a good showing by him. Can't defend this individual game, but overall I would still say here it's the best split. And Froggy also has a very stellar split, right? Remember this one Dex game to take it away, he went like absolutely insane. I think it was
he's got like a 36 KDA or something dumb from it.
And he went 15-1, I think, on the Vex. That was absolutely insane. Froggy definitely making arguments. And Artifact overall still far from bad, I would say. As we say that GAM just now stampeding over this game, getting this top lane tier 2 turret. 10k gold lead is exceeded by now, and this is just Team Secret. They need to hope for huge mistakes from GAM to really get back into this game. A single catch won't be enough. 2 catches likely won't do the trick either. And GAM, if they are looking so far, they just won't do those mistakes.
And it's one of the terms I like to use. Team Secret, they don't need a miracle, they need a calamity, because themselves getting a miracle isn't enough. They need something bad to happen to GAM, but it's another 3-man Cataclysm from Levi. Flashes out of the Cataclysm as Penguin and Hero still locked in. GAM continue to siege on the inhibitor tower. Good seismic shove will pop the Guardian Angel from style. Do GAM look for more? Eddie putting out a fair bit of damage on this Aphelios, and it will be enough to dissuade GAM from aggressing any further as Team Secret hold on to their inhibitor.
I gotta still give like some remaining respect to what the Aphelios can do with the flamethrower, and Ferdinand definitely working in Eddie's favor, as he can just burn down all these clumped up members from GAM, but of course not burn them down, as GAM knows their limits and just backs off after this inhibitor turret being taken. Not wanting to take this inhibitor just yet. I mean, they could just do it as the free XP or something. Wouldn't really matter as much, as GAM could likely finish the game in the mid or bot lane in the meantime, as Team Secret would defend that one. But GAM, very, very respectful, very, very disciplined, as they don't give any unnecessary shutdowns or anything whatsoever to give Team Secret a chance to get back into this game. Because, I mean, the Riot gave losing teams many comeback mechanics, and GAM is very aware of that, and they don't want Team Secret to have any of those. They just get a little bit of taste with that, getting 2 top lane turrets with the objective bounties being on their way, but even those calls in general weren't favorable for Secret overall, so GAM very aware of that, and them not giving Team Secret too much to work with.
GAM have had a strong vice-like grip over Team Secret, not just in Game 1, but in Game 2 as well. Game 1, we put the blame down to Team Secret, and we said they had a bad fight around the Rift Herald. That gave GAM their lead, and GAM were just able to run the game from there. But here in this game, Team Secret haven't had, a bad fight where you can say they shouldn't have taken that fight. They played it really badly. This has just been GAM finding small lead after small lead after small lead, and then snowballing that lead into what is now over a 10k goal lead before 25 minutes, and that is an incredible amount, Quincy.
Definitely something that we can't ignore at all. As we said, like for the 5th time, we would have wanted more early game snowballing from GAM, but that game is like the most scary thing, I would almost say. Like their comp isn't that decisively ahead in the early game. if at all, and they just still have full control over the game and never drop it for a single second. And they are playing one of the other strong teams in the VCS, right? It's Team Secret, the currently leading team. Whether they are the second or the third best team remains to be discussed, of course, and remains to be seen in the playoffs itself. But so far, GAM definitely making statement after statement. And with this game ending like this, there's like no other team we can, like, with a straight face, call the favorite for the playoffs.
Absolutely so. And GAM would argue with what you just said. They will say, no, Team Secret aren't another strong team. In the VCS, the strong is GAM, and everyone else is weak. And GAM continue to siege, and Team Secret can do nothing but watch, can do nothing but pray as they watch their entire base crumbling before their very eyes.
And they really need to do a last stand at some point, but this is the third inhibitor. This one matters 4 times as much as the other do, as you would just make so many more super minions in the base. And this just
takeover doesn't land onto anyone. In goes the Paranoia. The Moonlight Vigil does practically nothing. GAM stalling out the fight. Kiaya will fall. The bailout will eventually time out. Hero looking for more. Does not have the explosive cast for a few more seconds, but Team Secret are stepping forward. Is this the play to bring Secret back into the game? Kati will be no more. Team Secret get 2 for the price of 1. Zhuhao has fallen. Body slam on it to Levi. In comes the Weaver's Wall, but Artifact will not ride it. Good explosive cast, and that is Style going down to the ground. Artifact ends up dying. Too much damage from the minions, but Team Secret find a breath of hope, and Team Secret have a little bit more to give.
Very respectable last hit by Team Secret. I was addressing it earlier. The last inhib can't really fall at it. Would just mean 6 super minion waves streaming in instead of the 2. And this is a very good fight by them. Just using Paranoia and Weaver's Wall brilliantly. He was flank, was so well done on the side of Style. Just by baiting out the spell shield, using explosive cask and the body slam to really knock him down, and letting Artifact finish him off. Here we see again how it really played out. Also takeover not finding anyone, Paranoia being used. First of all, they just slowly win the front to back against Kiara and the Renekton, who kind of has fallen off so far and was kind of being cyberbullied in general in these early games. So his impact is not that much to score for on the side of Team Secret. They are kind of fair with that one. As Kati has to burn the Valkyrie, Eddie uses the flamethrower in the clutch situation yet again. Gravitum for the snare. Zhuhao dies, but that's ultimately not mattering too much. And yeah, they get the kill into Kati. Huge shutdown for them. Style dies as well did Kiaya early on. And this is 3 kills to the side of 1 on the side of GAM. And Team Secret, while they overall looked like clowns this game, that was a very respectable fight.
And that bailout from B was almost, well, it was clutch, right? Because they got the kill onto, was it Hero or Artifact at the end of that play? And maybe Artifact. It could have almost revived Style, but maybe now, is there some doubt starting to creep in? It was just one bad fight for the side of GAM. Surely that's not enough for Team Secret to come back in. GAM still have a huge goal lead. GAM are going to be picking up the Baron. A Paranoia used by Penguin is going to push GAM away from the Baron, and Team Secret are starting to gain confidence. Team Secret are starting to feel that maybe they can make plays, but Penguin is caught out on the top side of the map. Cataclysm is available. Levi can use it. Penguin has a flash, so can instantly flash out of the Cataclysm. Flashes away from the flag and drag. Zhuhao is around, can devour the knockdown if needed, but that's a big seismic shove! And Team Secret have found the kill onto Levi, but will it be enough? Does Eddie have enough damage? Hero in the midst of all. Kati will fall. Hero will eventually die, and now it's a 4v3 for the side of Team Secret. They're looking for Kiaya, who is on the run. Stahl's still alive. He's a big damage dealer on this Sivir, but again, Team Secret find a fight somehow. They find a 2-for-1.
Team Secret might just be going down, but they aren't going down without a fight. They lose 1 Nexus to it in exchange for that, but them just doing this Paranoia to really get the Paranoia creeping in by the side of GAM, that they were fearing the 50-50 smite that could just bring Team Secret back into this game, with them also getting like at least this one mid lane tier 1 turret. Another objective bounty going their way, and this fight was just very, very disrespectfully played by the side of Kati, I would say, as he was without a flash using the Valkyrie offensively, but he was still able to get caught by Artifact and Eddie and just get burned down. This fight not as easy to play for the side of GAM, as Team Secret now looking for this potential soul denial.
Watch the minion waves as well, because Kati has a teleport. He could just look to backdoor and said he's going to be teleporting in for this Drake fight. This could be Ocean Soul for the side of GAM. And Hero isn't here. This is a 4v5. Team Secret are forced to just back away as GAM steal the soul from right in front of Secret's face.
Yeah, soul denied or not is what Marby says in the chat, and this is exactly what Levi was feeling. They're just going for the 50-50 steal, securing the soul, Hero not being there. So while Team Zero had like 2 good last stand, that was ultimately not enough, and GAM about to make it clean to 0.
Levi stopping backs as the rest of GAM try to end this game. Hero taking so much damage and will get slaughtered as minion waves crash onto the final Nexus Tower. 531 days is not enough for GAM, and Team Zegro will be winless against GAM for a bit longer, as GAM will take the top spot in the VCS Summer Split.
And GAM looking like a completely different beast.